Hey guys, Ken here from Pop Culture Junkies. I have an episode for you this week about some art I had done by local artists on blank comic covers. Let's go. Alright, so a while back I started this idea that I wanted to collect some art from local artists. Got kind of bored with regular collecting. I'm still doing it, still collecting regular stuff. Lord knows I spend enough on it every week, but really wanted some unique pieces, and so I reached out to some local Colorado artists, basically gave them a blank cover and said, do your thing. Really started with one book in particular I bought at a convention. We'll talk about it in a bit. But I wanted to show you guys the end result from the artists that I was able to get in contact with, set up some time, and get some pieces done by. The first one that you can see here, this is the Batman's Grave blank. It was done by Lee Oakes. You can see his Instagram here in the other window next to this. It's at ThunderMonkeyGo if you're curious. So Lee, I contacted on Facebook, said, hey, I'm doing this project, I want to get some local Colorado artists involved, and he just wants you to jam out and do your thing. And he said, how do you feel about Batman? I said, Batman's great, I have a few Batman covers. He said, how do you feel about Daredevil? I said, Daredevil, one of my other favorites, that sounds fantastic. And he said, check out this piece I already have, maybe you'd be interested. And so he showed me this book, and you can see Batman here, but then here on the edge you can start to see Daredevil, and then when you flip it you can see him on the back. Wonderful, wonderful piece. This is actually the piece that convinced me not to get them graded, just because I like to be able to take this one out. I was going to send them all in for grading and accept my green label and be done with it. I think now I'm going to build some custom frames. We'll do an episode about that in the future. But really love to take it out, spread it out, look at the whole thing. Wonderful, wonderful line work on this black and white piece. I love it. Just the two characters together, two characters that I really love, and seeing what he was able to do with them was pretty fantastic. You can see some of his other work here. He's got some other really, really great pieces on his Instagram, so check him out. And if you guys are interested in local artists in the Colorado area, hit them up, negotiate your price, and tell them what you want done, and they're able to do some really great things. Next up, this was done by an artist named Saro Hong. We talked about a few different options, and it was either going to be Star Wars or Avengers and X-Men. And he really wanted to do the Avengers versus X-Men, which again, to me, the whole project was, here's a blank of whatever subject matter, you do what you do. And so he came up with this great piece, this recreation of Wolverine versus the Hulk, classic matchup. I really think it really fits his style. It's almost that, it's got a little bit of that animated tinge to it. Really love the coloring. He did tell me this book had kind of a waxy film on it compared to other blanks, and so was really worried about how the coloring was going to begin with, but I think he knocked it out of the park. Love the forest scene in the background and the fading trees coming through like there's a fog and a mist, and here's these two going at it. Hopefully it doesn't end like the Ultimate Universe when Wolverine got ripped in half. We'll find out. But if you want to see more of his art, it is here on Instagram at Saro Hong Arts. Has some other great pieces. Just finished this Hellboy recently. Really love the almost anime style. It's like a great mix of Western art and anime art. I really enjoy a lot of the work that he does. So I was super excited to get him involved in the project. Really happy with how it turned out. We'll definitely probably be turning into all of these artists again at some point in the future, but I wanted to show you guys what came of this project. That's what he came up with there, and it's an awesome cover. This was done by Anthony Apodaca. He's based out of Colorado Springs, Colorado. You can see some of his art on the left here. He did this Captain Marvel. It's actually the second book I purchased from him. It was just kind of penciled in. Ran into him at Colorado Springs Comic Con, and it just had the pencils on it. And I love Carol. She's one of my favorite characters, as you can see. And so, love the pose, love everything about it. And so, purchased it from him at that point, and he had to go back and finish the colors and the inks and everything. One of the other reasons I love not getting these graded. There's nothing like the feeling of these in your hand when you're holding them and looking at the art with no plastic in between you. So it just looks great. He did a great job. Again, the line work, you can see the details in her costume. What he also did, here you can see a picture of it that he has on here. That's awesome. What he did, that he's the one that actually got me into this kick on local artist covers, and the reason for that is because he had this at his booth at Colorado Springs. And this Captain America cover, I can't say enough about it, and I don't think you can see enough of the detail on camera. From the cracks in the shield, to the scales and Cap's armor, to the molding and the engravings on Mjolnir, to the handle, to the knuckles, the helmet. This piece is so good. I walked by this twice at the convention, and finally I had to just come back and pick it up before I left. Totally worth it, and then that's what really made me want to get more from local artists. And like I said, he had this Carol just with the line work done, the penciling, and that's when I picked this up as well. But this just, like, this cover is immaculate. It's fantastic. I love it. He also has, he's got another one. It's a Harley Quinn. I will likely buy it if he hasn't ever sold it yet. It's been available for a while, and eventually, if I get enough other stuff off of my purchase list, this will be one of my future purchases here. I love this cover. Great artist. You can see more of his work at A1SMK on Instagram. Be sure to check him out. And like I said, if you're interested in getting some of this work for yourself, I highly recommend it. It's a really fulfilling project. I think you'll really enjoy it. And there's some great local artists out there. Last but not least, this was a piece I had done by Matt Gonzalez. You can find him at shrinking_mant with 2 T's _artist on Instagram. You can see it right here. So he has his own character named Circus Gal, and when I first contacted him, I asked him like what kind of covers did he want to do. Here's the books that I had, and he said he'd totally add these 2, and I said no, you should totally add Circus Gal into it too. She fits the theme. Let's get all 3 of them on there. However you want to do it. If you want to do faces, poses, whatever you want to do, man, just throw these 3 characters on there. And I just want to showcase your art for the world to see and for other people to see, and for at some point in my collection someone will come across this little chunk of local Colorado artists. So really love what he was able to do and put together here, just the kind of the montage of faces of them together. I think it flows really well, it goes together well. Really great artist. You can find more of his work on Instagram. Check him out. You can kind of see the stages here. I like that he posted, and he sent me all these up through the whole process too. Like he sent me this image of the penciling. He kind of said like, here's the layout. What do you think about it? And then, here's what it's looking like now that I got it inked, the line work done, and then here's the finished project. So really cool guy to work with. Definitely going to reach out to him again in the future as well, along with all these other guys. If you have time in your community, seek out some of your local artists. I think you'll be really happy with what they can come up with. If you know of local artists in the Denver area, leave some names in the comments. I'd love to chat with them and see what else I can come up with on my list next year for local artists to see what we can put together. It's a project I'm going to continue. It's going to be a little slower paced. Versus like 1 a month like I was doing since September. Like I just have been paying for people to crank these out. And we'll probably do one every couple months in the future for who knows how long. But definitely if you know people out there who have some talent who may be interested, leave their names in the comments. Tell them to come by, leave a comment, and we'll see what we can work out. That's all I got for you on this one, guys. Thanks for watching. Remember to hit that like, click that subscribe, and we'll see you next time.